Alright everybody, welcome back to another edition here of Monday Night Raw. How are y'all doing? My name is Dominic, of course, behind the commentary table. And ladies and gentlemen, following a monumental Money in the Bank pay-per-view event. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go check it out. But following that incredible pay-per-view event, it's time to turn our attention to what should be an equally exciting episode of Monday Night Raw, as that man, the now former Universal Champion, the leader of the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, will have something to say in regards to his loss against Brock Lesnar in the main event match at the Money in the Bank event. But that's not all, as our main event of tonight's show will feature these two, Roderick Strong and Tommaso Ciampa, as they battle for the United States Championship. These two are no strangers to one another, ladies and gentlemen, and you gotta think this Royal Oak crowd here in Michigan are excited to see those two men compete again inside the confines of that squared circle. However, this man, the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, who left the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with that, the Money in the Bank briefcase, looks to get another chance to showcase his dominance here on Raw, because you see, we are on the road to the King of the Ring pay-per-view, and as you can see, the tournament bracket showcases what should be an exciting and intoxicating tournament leading into the King of the Ring event. Every single competitor, from Nakamura to Johnny Gargano to AJ Styles to Pete Dunne, Rey Mysterio, Kyle O'Reilly, Andrade Cien Almas, and Big E, they all want to leave the King of the Ring pay-per-view event with a shot at either the WWE or Universal Championship, because that's exactly what the King of the Ring winner gets. They get a chance to compete at SummerSlam for either the WWE or Universal title. However, this man, Shinsuke Nakamura, following his massive victory in the Money in the Bank ladder match, can effectively cash in that briefcase whenever he so wishes. So you gotta think, if he were to somehow win this tournament and then go on to win either the WWE or Universal title, well then what's stopping him from cashing in that briefcase on another champion and then leaving with the two top titles we have here in the WWE? However, speaking of top champions, let me turn your attention over to these two, British Strong Style. Okay, an exciting duo to say the least. They are the Raw Tag Team Champions, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, as Pete Dunne and Shinsuke Nakamura look to compete here tonight to kick off the show. You gotta think that this could lead to an absolutely explosive matchup between two incredible performers. Okay, both are incredible strikers, both are incredible technical competitors, and both men want to leave here tonight knowing that they get a chance at competing at the King of the Ring pay-per-view event, and perhaps leaving that show as a #1 contender. Of course, Shinsuke Nakamura walking into this one, he was holding that Money in the Bank briefcase. He announced at the pay-per-view that he is not going to be cashing in that briefcase until WrestleMania, giving a fair warning to either the WWE or Universal Champion at that time. If Shinsuke Nakamura will keep his word on that, we're going to have to find out. But it's a very interesting strategy by Shinsuke Nakamura, as right now, the King of Strong Style challenges Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. And here we go. Okay, already we've seen a bit of an even playing field thus far, a bit of a feeling out process, you could say here. And now it's Nakamura who pushes none other than Pete Dunne off and taunts the Bruiserweight. As Pete Dunne is looking to take down Shinsuke Nakamura, perhaps, after celebrating a massive victory at the Money in the Bank event, defeating the Usos alongside Tyler Bate to retain their Raw Tag Team titles. And just like that, Nakamura showcases his incredibly unique stylings, turning it into a headbutt, but Pete Dunne turns it into a German off the rebound. But only a 1 count nonetheless, as Pete Dunne looks down at Mr. Money in the Bank himself, the King of Strong Style, who perhaps looks to leave the King of the Ring pay-per-view as not only the King of Strong Style, but the King of the Ring. Okay, Nakamura, he's just adding nicknames to his repertoire left, right, and center, as right now, in the center of the ring, these two, ladies and gentlemen, are battling with Pete Dunne. Only on one count again, with Pete Dunne, at least as of right now, dominating Shinsuke Nakamura. But you gotta think Nakamura, he's gotta be in a lot of pain. He was competing in a 6-man ladder match at the Money in the Bank event. So he's not walking into this one 100%. But you gotta think, neither is Pete Dunne as he drops him with a pile driver. My God! And the cover, 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. The referee perhaps a bit too slow. Perhaps a bit shocked at the fact that Pete Dunne out of nowhere pulled a pile driver out of his repertoire, out of his moveset. And right now, he is taunting Shinsuke Nakamura, who is typically the one who plays the more egotistical card in his matches. However, right now, Nakamura goes for a kick to the gut, and Pete Dunne perhaps looking to make him pay for it with these punishing shots. However, Nakamura now with a slap to the chest, and these two are going back and forth here. Moves out of the way of the Enziguri. Goes for a kick, but there you see Pete Dunne counters it. And these two incredibly intelligent competitors are going back and forth, reversal for reversal, and Nakamura takes down Pete Dunne with the arm drag. Okay, we've got an exciting show for you, ladies and gentlemen, and we're kicking it off with a bang as these two are going back and forth here. Both men looking to enter that King of the Ring pay-per-view event. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Both men looking to leave here tonight one step closer to immortality. Of course, Shinsuke Nakamura, already a former WWE World Champion. Pete Dunne, he hasn't gotten the same luxury of success. However, as you can tell, during his entrance, he was sporting himself some gold with that Raw Tag Team title strap around his waist. 1, 2, following a vicious forearm strike, but Nakamura gets the shoulder up. Okay, so neither of these men are necessarily strangers to gold here in the WWE, as Tyler Bate watches on, and Pete Dunne now perhaps is sick and tired of Shinsuke Nakamura as he just kicks him in the stomach over and over again before another forearm right to the face. And it seems as though these two men have turned this from a technical exchange to an all-out brawl here with a massive powerbomb. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count with Pete Dunne unable to keep Nakamura down for the 3. Picking him up from the ground, showcasing his power, ladies and gentlemen, against Nakamura before turning it once again back into a game of strategy with his technical prowess being put on display here tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura, obviously in the black and red, that signature black and red attire, whereas Pete Dunne, takes him down perhaps, takes him down with the Kimura lock here. Okay, the first submission hold being applied here, trying to tap out Nakamura, trying to tap out Shinsuke. The referee watching closely. Is he going to tap here? Is he going to tap out Mr. Money in the Bank himself? Is he going to tap out the King of Strong Style? No, as the Bruiserweight gets back to his feet, but so does Nakamura as he's trying to fight back here with the strikes. But Pete Dunne there with a punch right to the jaw and then a forearm for good measure. Irish whip. Goes perhaps for another German, but instead he gets caught with a clothesline. And Nakamura now up on the middle turnbuckle, perhaps seeing this as an opportunity to connect with that knee, leaping off the middle turnbuckle before crashing down onto the shoulder, onto the chest. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count on Pete Dunne. As Nakamura over there, you see perhaps setting it up here. Okay, he's got a twitch in his knee here, perhaps going for a Kid Sasha, but instead, he gets caught. He gets caught. Kicked in the gut. And now an X-Plex connecting. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count again. I would argue the referee perhaps once again a bit too slow on the pinfall attempt. Okay, perhaps he's getting too caught up in the action, too caught up in the moment here, as Pete Dunne once again goes for yet another submission hold being applied here on Nakamura, this time with the half Boston Crab, but he gets out of it, kicking off Pete Dunne, as Nakamura gets back on his own 2 feet, but instead suffers a kick in his own right, as now Pete Dunne, he ain't done as he connects with a stomp to the shoulder. And now once again trying to wear down Shinsuke Nakamura, perhaps a smart strategy, perhaps trying to tap out Shinsuke any way he can. As Pete Dunne now, he's got the submission hold applied. Will he be able to finally tap out Shinsuke? As Shinsuke, oh my god, look at the power as he takes him down with a power bomb. Saying that is the only way he can possibly get out of that hold, and he does indeed get out of that maneuver. Getting out of that submission hold that was thoroughly applied on Nakamura. And Pete Dunne right now, he isn't done, as he's taking him down with the strikes, dropping him to a knee. Shinsuke not looking too good, as you can see, they're connecting. Punching him in the back. And now, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. King Sasha out of nowhere. In the cover now. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count there. Following all the action, Nakamura hits him out of nowhere with a Kinshasa, and Pete Dunne gets the shoulder up. Okay, admittedly, I will argue that Pete Dunne perhaps has dominated this matchup thus far, but still, it's very rare to see a kick out of the Kinshasa, and Nakamura is in disbelief that Pete Dunne was able to kick out of that horrific knee strike that has been used to take out so many other competitors, to win him so many championships in his career. However, right now, Pete Dunne, he looks pissed off, and he's perhaps hurt. He's finally hurt. He's finally weakened, and yet Nakamura is not looking too good here against Pete Dunne. However, perhaps he's making me eat my words as he throws him into the corner there. However, Pete Dunne, in response, perhaps turning him around as he's leaned up against the turnbuckles, and these two are going back and forth here, battling against the corners, battling against the turnbuckles. And now he connects with another knee, this time right to the stomach. The sharp knee by Nakamura. 1, 2. He might have him here, but he doesn't as he kicks out. And Pete Dunne now, oh, waits for him to get up. But there you see Shinsuke Nakamura. Drops him back down onto the mat. As these two are going back and forth here. Reversal for reversal by both Pete Dunne and Shinsuke Nakamura. And there you see Pete Dunne perhaps setting him up, waiting for Nakamura, but Nakamura gets out of it with a punch to the upper back and connecting with that signature back suplex by Shinsuke Nakamura here, as these two incredible performers are going to war to kick off this episode of Raw and to kick off this King of the Ring tournament as he connects. 1, 2, 3, and the King of Strong Style hits Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, with the Kinshasa, and leaves here tonight with a massive victory as he moves on now in the King of the Ring tournament. However, Nakamura, even though he just won the first matchup of this King of the Ring tournament, you gotta think that he just sent a message to everybody else, to Johnny Gargano, to AJ Styles, to Rey Mysterio, to Kyle O'Reilly, to Andrade, and to Big E. However, right now, Mr. Money in the Bank continues his conquest here on Raw as he looks forward to perhaps leaving the King of the Ring pay-per-view event with a shot at either the WWE or Universal Championship at, of course, SummerSlam. However, ladies and gentlemen, following that massive victory by Shinsuke Nakamura, we still have a massive main event to get to. We have got Roderick Strong and Tommaso Ciampa These two men who have been going back and forth for months here on Monday Night Raw, all over that United States title. Tonight, it comes to an end as it's Roderick Strong versus Tommaso Ciampa in the main event of the evening for the United States Championship. However, ladies and gentlemen, we still got a hell of a lot of action to get through before we get to that incredible bout. Including this matchup coming up next, we've got Dakota Kai taking on Mia Yim. Okay, Dakota Kai, of course, one of the 5 competitors who suffered a massive loss during that women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The winner, of course, Bianca Belair over on SmackDown, celebrating the victory. But right now, Dakota Kai, even though she must be in a lot of pain following a horrific looking drop off the top of a ladder onto another ladder, Dakota Kai, I'm not too sure if she's 100%, but right now, she's coming into this one ready for a fight as she goes up against none other than Mia Yim, who made her debut recently here on Raw in a Money in the Bank qualifying matchup against none other than the woman Dakota Kai sent crashing into a ladder, Sasha Banks. However, even though Mia Yim came up short in her match against Sasha Banks, you gotta think Mia Yim, she's very focused, and she needs a victory here against Dakota Kai. However, Dakota Kai, she wants a victory in her own right as well. She needs a victory in her own right as well. And tonight, we're gonna find out which one of these two competitors will leave with a massive win. Will it be Dakota Kai, or will it be this woman right here, Mia Yim? Both have proven to be incredible competitors. Very impressive. Mia Yim, especially in her match against Sasha Banks, her debut match against Sasha Banks, even though she came up very short, she had a very impressive performance. And tonight, we're going to find out if Mia Yim can get a victory or if she will suffer yet another loss, this time to Dakota Kai. And here we go, the captain of Team Kick versus the Blasian Baddie. Let's get into it. As these two women, perhaps, taking a moment, talking a bit of trash here. And now, perhaps going for a lockup, but instead, Mia Yim counters with a brutal kick right to the stomach. These two fan favorites here tonight, going back and forth already. No, only a 1 count following a huge slam, dropping Mia Yim on the back of her head, on the back of her neck, before going for a pinfall attempt. Did Dakota Kai, who moves out of the way of that running boot. However, right now, Mia Yim and Dakota going back and forth. Catching the kick does Mia Yim. As now, with the Irish whip, sending her across the ring. Here goes off the rebound, but instead gets caught with a kick, and now we're going back and forth here. Reversal for reversal by both Mia Yim and Dakota Kai, proving to the world why they are 2 top athletes here on Raw. And speaking of top athletes, ladies and gentlemen, I want to turn your attention to what's going to be happening following this matchup. Apparently, Lio Rush, the advocate of Bobby Lashley, will have something to say in regards to Bobby Lashley's condition following that horrific fall during the NXT Championship main event matchup that we saw on the last episode of Raw. However, right now, it's Dakota Kai who looks to once again be waiting, biding her time, entering the ring. However, Mia Yim showing her the respect of giving her a chance to walk back into the ring, and Dakota Kai immediately took her down with an enziguri, and perhaps Mia Yim made a mistake. Oh, but no, she catches her there. And now once again, the fast-paced action continues as Dakota Kai once again sends Mia Yim into the corner. Sends her away now, and perhaps turns it into a pinfall attempt as she does. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count, trying to get a quick pinfall victory over Mia Yim here tonight, as Dakota Kai waits for her to get up. And now Dakota, the captain of Team Kick, picks her back up to her feet before using her own well-educated feet to good use, kicking her right in the face as hard as she can, because that's just what you're going to have to do when competing in hand-to-hand combat. As Dakota Kai now waits for her to get up, goes for a kick to the stomach. However, there you see It's Mia Yim who tries to fight back, but again, she gets taken down off her feet by the captain of Team Kick. However, right now it's a kick by Mia Yim right to the stomach, and then now she's throwing hands here, but as you can see, a punch to the face connects, and a chop for good measure by Mia Yim, and these two have been going back and forth. Okay, swinging the pendulum of momentum throughout the entire matchup as Mia Yim connects 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. A devastating package powerbomb out of nowhere. As Mia Yim is not done. Hitting her there, connecting, and now connecting with a kick. Dakota Kai not in a good predicament, sorry. As right now, it's Mia Yim who puts herself in a dominating position, kicking her in the stomach again. And Dakota Kai is not looking too good as she hits her with a forearm. And right now, Mia Yim sends Dakota to the outside. And Yim, looks outside, perhaps seeing this as an opportunity. Oh, but instead she gets caught with a punch out of nowhere. Mia Yim goes for the suicide dive and gets caught. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Of course, high risk, high reward. That's why they call it that. And apparently, the risk was just too great as Dakota Kai stops her dead in her tracks, hitting her with a punch in the face, and now a few forearms following the brutal right hand. And now it seems as though she perhaps has something in mind with those kicks. Those well-educated feet with a kick right to the face, wiping her boot across the skull, across the face of Mia Yim. Going for the cover. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count, and perhaps that reversal by Dakota Kai catching Mia Yim right before she was able to land that suicide dive. Perhaps that has turned out to be a fatal mistake for Mia Yim, or perhaps not, as she catches the kick and now throws her across the ring, ducks underneath once again and catches her with an explosive clothesline, goes for a stomp. However, now it's Dakota Kai who gets back to her feet, charging towards her, but instead gets caught, and now gets caught with another strike by Mia Yim, as Yim is trying to fight back. Dakota Kai connects, and now with the chop to the chest, trying to fight back, and these two women are brawling. These two women are battling, and Mia Yim once again finishes off a sequence of maneuvers with yet another package powerbomb. And now, Mia Yim perhaps sees this as an opportunity and connects, dropping Dakota Kai. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over as Mia Yim gets her first victory here on Monday Night Raw, following a very, very back and forth matchup between herself and Dakota. Okay, following there you see the protect ya neck, as she calls it. Mia Yim gets to celebrate this massive victory here tonight. Sure, she had a bit of a rocky start to her time here on Raw, losing to Sasha Banks in that Money in the Bank qualifying matchup. However, tonight, Mia Yim gets to leave here with a massive smile on her face and a victory to back up that enjoyment. Well, as you just heard from Bobby Lashley's personal manager, Lio Rush, it seems as though Bobby is recovering remarkably well following his horrific fall to the outside on the last episode of Raw. So, of course, for all those fans of our former NXT title contender, it seems as though none of you have to worry much more about the recovering Bobby Lashley. Okay, he will be coming back, and in the words of Lio Rush, sooner rather than later. However, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, let me turn your attention from Bobby Lashley to Robert Roode, as Roode is set to go one-on-one with the living legend himself, the masked luchador Rey Mysterio, as these two former top champions look to wage war within the confines of that squared circle. Okay, both men, former top champions across multiple promotions, multiple divisions, hell, for Rey Mysterio, multiple weight classes. But tonight, it's time to see which one of these two will leave here tonight with a victory. And you gotta think Rey Mysterio especially must be feeling the excitement, the joy coursing through his veins as he is ready for competition for the first time in what feels like a very long while. Okay, we haven't seen Rey Mysterio compete since even before WrestleMania. And tonight, Rey Mysterio perhaps looks to showcase to the world why he should have been on that WrestleMania card, why he should have been here on Raw, why he should have been at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view event, as Rey Mysterio is looking to showcase to the world why he is a legend here in the WWE. Of course, Robert Roode, however, we have seen him a few times over the past few episodes of Raw. Each time he has suffered a massive loss. Okay, he lost to the now former Universal Champion Adam Cole, which of course we will be hearing from later on in the evening. But of course he's also lost to the current Mr. Money in the Bank, Shinsuke Nakamura, as Robert Roode takes down Rey Mysterio. No, not even a 1 count, however. Going for the pinfall attempt. Rey Mysterio gets the shoulder up. Now he gets back to his feet. However, Robert Roode perhaps looking to make him pay for it here. As Roode, oh wait a second, gets caught there. Rey Mysterio gets out of the suplex predicament. Okay, a very early suplex by Robert Roode was thwarted by Rey Mysterio as the former WWE Champion takes down Roode. Going for the cover now. One. No, and only a 1 count. Okay, I talk about Robert Roode's habit of losing his matches. Rey Mysterio, of course, no stranger to feeling and tasting the horrific taste of defeat in his own right. Rey Mysterio, he's no stranger to the feeling of dread, of loss, as he, looks to perhaps not feel that feeling tonight, as he takes him down. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. He does not want to go through the suffering of defeat here, Rey Mysterio, as he takes down his opponent, his adversary, with a Hurricane Rana off the top turnbuckle. Picture perfect by Mysterio. However, there you see Robert Roode trying to fight back here. These two are very different competitors. Okay, while Rey Mysterio loves to work in this fast-paced, high-octane style, it's Robert Roode who loves to slow down the matchup. He loves to rely on his power and his fists. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. There have been a lot of comparisons to Triple H in regards to Robert Roode's stance and moveset here in professional wrestling. And of course, if you're being compared to Triple H, well then you gotta know that, you have to be up there as one of the greats here in WWE. However, Robert Roode right now, he also knows that he's a very different competitor to Triple H as well. Sure, they may be fairly similar, however, they have a lot of differences. For instance, Robert Roode has never held a WWE Championship. Sure, he's held a few titles in his past, like the Intercontinental title, hell, even the World Heavyweight title, but that oh-so-elusive WWE Championship has never been around the waist of Robert Roode. And perhaps, if you were to beat Rey Mysterio here tonight, maybe he could be put on the fast track to success. Sure, Raw does not have the WWE title associated with it. That luxury is being held by SmackDown. However, Robert Roode, you gotta think, he also wants perhaps a shot at even Brock Lesnar and the Universal title. And Rey Mysterio, you gotta be thinking, wants the same damn thing. But right now, he's not looking so good as he's looking up at the lights. As Robert Roode, there you see that textbook, well, that trademark, Robert Roode ego being put on display as he takes down Rey Mysterio, slapping him in the back of the head. And there you see Rey Mysterio perhaps needing a chance to breathe, needing to get out of the ring here. And he does so as he gets thrown into the barricade. And Robert Roode now not done laying in the offense. Rey Mysterio, I've got to say this, perhaps it's the ring rust since we haven't seen him in quite some time, but he is definitely not looking too good here in this match against the Glorious One. Oh, as Mysterio gets slammed into the apron. And now Roode goes for the cover here. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Like I said earlier, following this matchup, we will be hearing, of course, from none other than the former Universal Champion, Adam Cole. However, not only that, we still got a big-time main event as Robert Roode decides to interrupt my commentary with his own glorious chant, stroking his own ego, as the United States title will be on the line. However, right now, Robert Roode goes for a victory. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count, going for the pinfall. However, Rey Mysterio kicks out of that spine buster. And as I was saying, of course, Tommaso Ciampa, Roderick Strong, big-time main event, ladies and gentlemen, for the United States title. You're not going to want to miss it, as Robert Roode, with a horrific clothesline. I'm not too sure if that's exactly how he intended to hit Rey Mysterio, but Mysterio nonetheless gets back to his feet following that devastatingly clubbing shot by the Glorious One. As he gets sent into the corner, does Mysterio. And Robert Roode now, continuing the offense here, goes for a punch. And Mysterio, however, throws him back into the corner, trying to fight back following a massive kip-up. Will he be able to make a comeback here? Or perhaps not, as Robert Roode gets a kick right to the face. And Mysterio out of nowhere, showcasing his agility. And Rey Mysterio, perhaps feeling the support of these fans, feeling the energy through the crowd, as he taunts Robert Roode, but Roode apparently not appreciative of that notion by Rey Mysterio. He wants to showcase to the world that he is one of the best, and now perhaps using his agility, he'll be able to do just that with a 619 out of nowhere. Rey Mysterio with a shout out, of course, to San Diego, California. However, ladies and gentlemen, will he be able to pop the West Coast crowd here as he jumps off the top turnbuckle? And oh, wait a second. Robert Roode catches him mid-air and connecting. 1, 2, 3, and a glorious DDT out of nowhere. My God, Rey Mysterio perhaps about to make the comeback of a century here, and the Glorious One, the now winner of this matchup, Robert Roode, catching him off guard perhaps, catching him in mid-air. I mentioned earlier he's got a lot of power. And as you can see right there in the replay, he just showcased that power before taking him down with the trademark glorious DDT. Sure, Roode has suffered some major losses as of late against Adam Cole and Shinsuke Nakamura, but you gotta think, this victory against Rey Mysterio could perhaps lead him down the road to greener pastures. Well, okay then. A bit of an ominous message, perhaps, there by, I believe, Io Shirai, and I can only assume that it was being sent towards Asuka? Maybe? I think. If I read that correctly. And speaking of reading that correctly, I have no idea what that ending message said. Okay, I'll be honest, okay, perhaps I may sound less intelligent with this fact, but I can't read Japanese. I can only assume that's Japanese. And I can't read that. I apologize. For all those translators out there, I hope I did not deeply offend you. Just like how Adam Cole, perhaps, feels deeply offended, feels a bit hollow, walking out here to the ring as he is standing there all alone without the Universal Championship around his waist. Of course, Adam Cole, he lost the Universal title at Money in the Bank in the main event to Brock Lesnar. So the question remains, what does he have to say? And oh well, just wait just a second! Okay, it seems as though Adam Cole is trying to have a heart-to-heart with the fans. This man, Kevin Owens, who I'll go on record as saying perhaps he does not even have a heart within his chest, has decided to come out here and interrupt the leader of the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole. Of course, Kevin Owens decided to take it upon himself to not only interrupt Adam Cole, but attack Adam Cole a few episodes ago, deciding to beat the hell out of him following an impressive victory over the man who just beat Rey Mysterio, Robert Roode. And there you see Kevin Owens has decided to interrupt Cole once again. Oh, and it seems as though the fight has spilled out already. It's Kevin Owens and Adam Cole battling in that ring here tonight. Okay, Kevin Owens decided to attack Adam Cole, and it seems as though Adam Cole now, in response, trying to fight back here against this onslaught by Kevin Owens, who gets sent to the outside. Kevin tried to attack Adam Cole, and the former Universal Champion not giving him the satisfaction in succeeding. However, ladies and gentlemen, the message has been made very clear. These two men both want a shot at being a top champion here on Raw, as Adam Cole, the former Universal Champion, watches on as the former WWE Champion Kevin Owens leaves the arena. However, ladies and gentlemen, I want to turn your attention to what's going to be happening on the next episode of Raw before we get into our massive main event of the evening. The Raw Women's Champion, Asuka, will be taking on Toni Storm in what should be an exciting matchup. But that's not all, as Paul Heyman, the advocate for the new Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman will have something to say in regards to his client's status as Universal Champion. However, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to turn your attention over from the Universal title to the United States title, as this upcoming matchup is our main event of the evening. We have got this man, Tommaso Ciampa, challenging Roderick Strong for the oh-so-prestigious championship. Of course, Tommaso Ciampa, he's no stranger to holding that United States title. He is a former United States champion in his own right, losing, in fact, to Roderick Strong in a previous bout. These two have gone back and forth, beating the hell out of each other for months. They are no strangers to one another. They know exactly what the other one is thinking. And tonight, we're going to find out once and for all which one deserves to be United States champion. As there you see Tommaso Ciampa in our main event. This man, this sick and twisted individual, is perhaps looking to use those sick and twisted methods to become a champion once again. Of course, Tommaso Ciampa pissed off not only King Booker but Roderick Strong as well a few episodes ago here on Raw, where after a main event clash between Strong and Shinsuke Nakamura, Tommaso Ciampa decided to come out through the crowd wearing a mask to disguise his identity so that he can run in and beat the hell out of Roderick Strong before unmasking, of course, to reveal that it is indeed him, Tommaso Ciampa. However, of course, Tommaso Ciampa, he just loves to attack his opponents. He loves to attack his enemies. He loves to blindside them. He loves to do everything he can to take a cheap shot. However, tonight, Roderick Strong is not looking at him with his back turned. Tonight, it's Roderick Strong versus Tommaso Ciampa one-on-one. The two enemies here tonight look to wage war here in a match for the United States title. Okay, of course, like I mentioned, this is the main event of the evening. Just like how at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the main event of that show featured another member of the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, as he lost his Universal title to Brock Lesnar. So the question is, will Roderick Strong suffer a similar loss to Tommaso Ciampa here tonight? Okay, will we watch as two Undisputed Era members lose their oh-so-prestigious titles, or will Roderick Strong, unlike Adam Cole, be able to successfully retain against Ciampa? Only one way to find out. This is the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big fight that we are about to witness, and you can see the crowd, you can watch them, as they know that the big fight feel here tonight is present in this matchup. Okay, already thus far, we've seen Robert Roode defeat Rey Mysterio. We've seen Mia Yim defeat Dakota Kai. We have seen Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Pete Dunne. And tonight, we're going to find out if Roderick Strong can beat Tommaso Ciampa, or if Tommaso Ciampa can beat Roderick Strong. Either way, though, this, ladies and gentlemen, is for the United States title. And I can't wait to see what happens as the bell rings, and let's get into it immediately right out of the gate. Both men rushing towards each other, and both men already coming into a brawl here tonight. This is already broken out into a fight as both men are going back and forth. Oh, punch for punch, kick for kick, chop for chop. And now a few slaps to the face before a chop in response, as these two already are waging war here, beating the hell out of each other, with Roderick Strong taking down Ciampa, rushing towards him. However, instead it's Tommaso Ciampa who pushes him down, rushes towards him, and Roderick Strong reverses, as these two men now, perhaps slowing down the pace, from 100 miles an hour as Roderick Strong, however, he's not done. Perhaps looking to showcase his own speed and agility, flying to the outside with a dropkick. And it seems as though Roderick Strong has definitely closed out that sequence of back and forth maneuvers. However, right now it seems as though Tommaso Ciampa has reversed Roderick Strong, and now these two are going to war on the outside, as both men look to use their environment to their advantage. Both men throwing each other into the barricade, as now it's Tommaso Ciampa who throws Roderick Strong back into the ring. As Tommaso Ciampa goes for a strike, but instead gets met with a brutal kick right to the stomach. However, this time he does connect with the forearm, as Tommaso Ciampa now once again launches Roderick Strong across the ring. As now it's Ciampa, perhaps looking to end this sequence finally with a few punches in his own right. I thought it was the ending with Roderick Strong. Tommaso Ciampa changed my mind, and now he has the advantage here, beating the hell out of Strong. And there you see the kicks over and over again, right to the stomach, right to the chest of the champion. As now he goes for a pinfall attempt. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count following the back and forth strikes that we've seen thus far here in this main event. Over there you see the champion tries to fight back, but the challenger not giving him an inch. Throwing him once again across the ring, charging towards him, going for a running knee strike in the corner, but Roderick Strong very quickly evades the attack and gets out of the way as he, connects there with a back elbow. And now connects with a forearm, and another one for good measure. Roderick Strong, 1/4 of the Undisputed Era. Tommaso Ciampa, a lone wolf here on Raw. Okay, I don't even know how you can be friends with Tommaso Ciampa, as Roderick Strong showcases how much he hates his enemy. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. This entire feud has gone from being a professional feud about the United States title to perhaps becoming a bit more personal, as Roderick Strong, oh well, there you see Tommaso Ciampa. Roderick Strong going for a suplex, and Tommaso Ciampa with a rare showcase of agility, taking him down. I know it's hard to believe, but Tommaso Ciampa, remember, he is still classified as a light heavyweight. He can still fly around the ring. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count at a moment's notice, and Tommaso Ciampa looking to perhaps slow down the pace with a brutal knee right to the side of the skull. And Ciampa's not done as he takes him down with a kick to the back. As there you see Tommaso Ciampa, I mentioned it earlier, he's still classified as a light heavyweight. However, unlike most cruiserweights, unlike most light heavyweights, he decides not to fly around the ring. He decides to keep the pace slow and steady. You can compare him to Randy Orton in that respect. He's a very methodical competitor. However, as you can see, he makes every single shot count with a trifecta of brutal knees, and now a big boot for good measure. Oh my god! And Ciampa sends Roderick Strong all the way down to the mat on the outside with a horrific fall. Oh my god. There's now a chop for good measure, and a strike to the back as he sends him into the barricade, and Tommaso Ciampa is laying waste here tonight to Roderick Strong, who is trying to fight back, but instead gets a kick right to the stomach. And now, oh, what is this? What is this? Tommaso Ciampa! Oh my god! Ciampa sends Roderick Strong not only crashing into the mat on the outside, but also his legs into the steel steps. My god! 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. Tommaso Ciampa once again trying to showcase that he has the ability to use his environment to his advantage, and he tried to do so there. Oh! As he takes him down again, this time with a backstabber, and the cover. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. And how appropriate is it that Tommaso Ciampa decides to hit Roderick Strong with a backstabber considering that his whole reputation, his history throughout his time here in the WWE can be defined as him stabbing people in the back. People like Johnny Gargano, as right now he tries to take him down, but instead it's Roderick Strong who gets back to his feet before slamming him face first into the mat, and perhaps, finally, Tommaso Ciampa has been taken down, and Roderick Strong can fight back here as he kicks him in the stomach, and now Ciampa gets a massive chop to the chest, but instead he strikes back with a kick, and then a punch for good measure by Roderick, and Roderick now trying to fight back here. He's got something in mind perhaps as he kicks him right in the face. And now Ciampa turns around, gets a punch to the face. And then another one for good measure, this time to the back of the head. As Ciampa gets taken down, and Roderick Strong showcases why his last name is just that, with his raw power on display, sending Ciampa face first into the mat. And now, perhaps he could be making a comeback here. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count following the flurry of offense by Tommaso Ciampa, who just gets up, fueled primarily by hatred, fueled primarily by this sadistic and evil nature. He fights back here with a punch to the face. Oh, but there you see Roderick Strong now strikes back. But now once again it's Ciampa, and these two are going back and forth here, just like how they have been the entire matchup. But Tommaso Ciampa, oh, well, come on, this is ridiculous. Ciampa, there you see, come on. Even though Tommaso Ciampa started to dominate this matchup once again, he just has to resort to these cheap tactics. Choking Roderick Strong in the corner, trying to choke the life out of our United States champion. As Ciampa now slowly waits for Roderick Strong to get up, he turns around, gets a kick to the stomach, and now a fairy tale ending. And perhaps that will also be the ending of this matchup, or perhaps not. Perhaps not, as Roderick Strong gets the shoulder up. Roderick Strong is still in the fight, and Tommaso Ciampa, there you see, shaking his head, he can't believe it. As Strong now gets back to his feet, following a fairy tale ending that would take out any other competitor, but Roderick Strong showing the world how much he wants, how much he needs. Oh, that United States title as he connects there before turning it into a Russian leg sweep. The Messiah of the backbreaker with a backbreaker to Russian leg sweep combo. As, oh wait a second, Ciampa gets back to his feet, charging towards him, but instead gets caught there with a back suplex. And now Roderick Strong a bit slow to get to the pinfall, but he got it nonetheless. 2? No, and only a 2 count there. As now Tommaso gets back to his feet. He turns around, and the match, ladies and gentlemen, that kicked off with a non-stop high, octane style of back and forth strikes has slowed down as these two men have become exhausted. However, these two men are still fighting nonetheless. That's how important the United States title is to these two competitors, as Roderick Strong goes for perhaps another belly-to-back suplex, but instead gets caught. Oh, however, he gets almost caught with a knee right to the back. However, Tommaso Ciampa gets caught now, and Strong is not done as he connects with a trifecta of back elbows. And Roderick Strong now, the United States champion, turning him around, and always like Tommaso Ciampa rolls out of the ring. Ciampa trying to find himself some space here, trying to gain some breathing room, and Roderick Strong challenges Tommaso Ciampa to get back into the ring. Oh, as he goes for a punch, but instead gets caught there, and Tommaso now, oh, wait a second, climbing up to the top turnbuckle. Oh my God! Roderick Strong! 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count, jumping from the ring to the top turnbuckle to hit Ciampa with a belly to belly. Oh my God! Ciampa gets taken down and he still kicks out. Roderick Strong Just showing the world just how impressive he can be as he takes him down there. The knees to the midsection and the cover. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count again. And Ciampa kicks out as Ciampa gets back to his feet, trying to stay on his feet, trying to fight back. He understands that if he's down on the mat, then it could be a massive loss for himself and a title retention for Roderick Strong. And perhaps it is, as he takes him down at the end of Heartache. End of Heartache. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Ciampa hit him with the fairy tale ending. Roderick Strong responds with the end of Heartache. These two hitting each other with their best moves, and neither man willing to quit. As Roderick waits for Ciampa to get up, and he connects there with a brutal punch right to the jaw. Oh, but there you see, it's Tommaso Ciampa who strikes back with a punch to the stomach, and now 1, 2, 3, and Ciampa! Ciampa steals it! After all of that, Ciampa steals it, and we have a new United States champion! I will say a bit of a disappointing ending. I was expecting, you know, some sort of massive maneuver that could put away the other competitor, but Tommaso Ciampa deciding, you know what, I'm gonna just hit him with a pinfall. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try the roll-up. Perhaps Roderick Strong wasn't expecting it. Perhaps he was just too tired. But Tommaso Ciampa just won the United States title here on Raw. To close out this episode of Raw, ladies and gentlemen, Tommaso Ciampa has just been crowned the United States champion.